Well, good morning, ladies. Do you have your cup of coffee with you? It's so good to be back doing lives again after the madness of summer holidays and everything else. Had a wonderful time and I hope you did too. And so this week I wanted to share with you, so many of you might have seen the research that I've been doing asking you about what is your most annoying and potentially upsetting symptom of the menopause. You may well have seen that research that I've been doing asking for your feedback. And I'm using this feedback and any information that you give me because I'm putting together a 2-hour masterclass where I can put together all of the information that I have given out to you in the past and some new research which I've found. I'm part of the Menopausal Society. And there's some really great stuff that's come in. So good morning, Kate. Hello, lovely to see you. Pat, Natasha, Michaela, nice to see you. Please let me know where you're watching from this morning. And do you have a cup of tea or coffee in your hand? Mine is coffee. But to be fair, it's gone a little bit, let me taste. Yeah. Supposed to be a thermos flask. That's really not done the trick. So irritability up there, just like the rest of you. So today, what am I going to share with you today? I'm going to share with you today information about general information as to what is happening within your body to a certain extent. Good morning, Marita. Hello. Good morning, Lainey. And why it's giving you some of the symptoms that it does. And then it's going to be about 20 minutes and I'm going to take you through that, the symptoms, why they're happening, what is happening within your body, why we are all so different, and what we can do to help is going to come later in the week. So every day this week, 10 o'clock or on catch up. So let me know if you're on live now. Fabulous, I can see you here. If you're watching this on catch up, let me know that you're watching on catch up. That would be amazing. Oh, thank you, Mandy. Thank you. Mwah. Lovely compliment. Thank you. And so, share with me right now, please. This is a place of sharing. You know my page is a safe place for us ladies to get together. And, oh, Kate, you've got your coffee. Lovely. Leamington Spa, yes. And from Cheshire, yay! And wonderful. Whereabouts in Cheshire are you? I was brought up in Audley Edge, so let me know where in Cheshire you are. That would be amazing, Ali. And so, are you, number one, perimenopausal, i.e., you know there's fluctuations going on, your periods are all over the place, your moods are all over the place, you don't quite know what version of you is going to wake up each day? Or are you number two, which is menopausal and postmenopausal, i.e. you've not had periods for 12 months and so therefore your hormones are still on their way down but certain symptoms have stabilized. So let me know, are you number one or are you number two for today? Now, a little bit about myself as to who am I to be telling you about hormones and the menopause? Well, I first had to go through menopausal treatment in my late 30s when I met the love of my life, but not till the age of 30. And with him came a wonderful boy, Damon, who I inherited at the age of 10. So Damon came into my life at the age of 30. Up till then, I did not want children. I actively did not want children. And but sharing life with him and with Damon made me realise I really did. But nature didn't agree. So we had to go through IVF, which is fertility treatment. And for those of you that aren't aware of fertility treatment, what they do is they boost your hormones to give you the best possibility of falling pregnant. But before that, they boost your egg production. I was like the battery hen of 30. And because I was 35 plus, I was a geriatric mum right from the word go. Never mind when I had my twins at 43, but that's besides the point. So for Theo, age 36, off I went into this fertility treatment. And I was so lucky it works first time. You start injecting yourself once a day, and that's to make the hormones go down to what they call a base level. We called it the bonkers level. Because they put me through the menopause, took all the estrogen out of me over a 10-day period, and then you did 2 injections a day so that they could boost you up, boost up your ovaries, so I could produce 24 eggs, girls. Then they had to go in with big needles, extract those eggs, and put them in a petri dish with Lee. On you go, watch them overnight, and they've got the embryos. Then the embryos go back into my fluffy uterus, and then you just keep your fingers crossed and do a pregnancy test 10 days later. Now that sounds okay, doesn't it? Well, it was wonderful when it worked first time. However, it took us 10 attempts of this and going to the baseline bonkersness before we had our beautiful twins, who are truly a gift from God. And so I'm seeing that a lot of you are number 1. Louise, you think, yeah, that's the thing. There's so much uncertainty, isn't there? I'm going to explain to you more about that. So by the end of this, you should know exactly, Louise, where you are on this scale. Look, I've gone old school here. Yes, so I had to learn about hormones because I had to keep my marriage together. I was teaching fitness. I had now had a small baby. I really wanted more children. And for those of you that are trying for children, there's nothing more frustrating when people say to you, but you've already got one, just count your lucky blessings, you've got one. That doesn't really hack it when you're in that stage. And life was ticking on and time was ticking on. So I had to learn to recognise, not only recognise the hormone imbalance, but come up with strategies so that I was not the grumpiest witch in the world while we were going through it. Because otherwise, quite simply, my family and my friends would not support me going through it. So I had to come up with strategies, and I had to learn all about it and what was going on with my body. So therefore, go forward to being 49, and I'm like, I'm forgetting things. I'm going a bit nuts. I'm putting on weight. I'm a fitness instructor. My weight is stable all the time because I know the methods of eating that keep it stable all the time. I teach it to hundreds and thousands of ladies. Why is this creeping on? Why are my boobs hurting? Why is my skin not quite fitting? What is going on? Wait a minute, it's the hormones. And so therefore I dived into finding out about the menopause and realised how little information is out there. So I've made it my mission to find out as much as I can and bring it to you. So that is why I'm able to tell you this through one-to-one coaching and my lifestyle coaching and my wellness coaching and Kate's Club, which is my online group coaching. I've had so many hundreds of ladies share their stories with me that is what I am able to share with you. So that is why I'm here. Lovely to see so many of you here as well. Now, let me share with you what is going on and why this is totally natural. So you would never expect a female not to go through puberty, would you? It's the natural course of life. And you expect some of the things that go with that. Teenage girls, you expect a little bit of mood swings. For those of you with teenage girls, unlucky at this stage. I'm suddenly so glad I've got boys. But yes, so hormone imbalance, fair to say that's there. Cramps, sore boobs, easily distracted, other things, sleep patterns. They can get flushed, they can get hot, they can be lethargic. Nobody bats an eye at this, and everybody expects it of teenage girls. So why, when our hormones decrease, so that is because the estrogen here is increasing. So this is your estrogen levels. This is your lifespan. Up to 12, 13, the estrogen levels through puberty are going up and up and up. Not a problem. Everybody is aware of that. Then they go up and down as you're menstruating, up and down with the cycle. nobody has an issue with that. We don't go running off for pills. We don't go running off for a magic solution as to the cramps and the PMS, although sometimes for some people it is really pretty extreme and it can really mess up their lives. So I've helped people come up with strategies for that. But we're aware of it. We deal with it in our own way. Those of you that have been pregnant, then how much of a thrill is that? Through the lethargy that comes with that first trimester where you can't even get your head off the pillow. But then afterwards, when you've had the baby and you get that estrogen slump and the baby blues, still, there's lots of information out there. Loads of people willing to help you. You understand what's going on. Then you continue for another however many years it is, and then you go into the mist of nobody talking about what happens when quite naturally your hormone levels here go down again. Because in caveman land, we were not supposed to have babies anymore because our babies wouldn't be as strong as the babies given to the females of the tribe in their late 20s, early 30s. It's human nature. I know it's a bit upsetting, and I know I've helped a lot of ladies who really struggle with the fact that they are no longer able to have babies because the estrogen levels have gone down. But it's the natural course of life, and the natural course of life over there is that these estrogen levels are going to go down. So this has an effect on your thyroid. It has an effect on your pituitary gland, which in your brain sends out to your estrogen receptors. Did you know that estrogen receptors are all over your body? They're not just in your ovaries. So you kind of know what's going on when your periods are decreasing, going all over the place. That's because the estrogen and progesterone level, and the progesterone is that's like the calmer of the storm. It's the estrogen that sends you nuts. It's the progesterone that can keep you calm. But that's going down as well. So your pituitary gland in your head, it knows that our body needs estrogen. So it fires off asking the receptors all around your body to, come on, produce a bit more if you can. So those are in your thyroids. They are in your boobs. You know, when your boobs just suddenly go, poof, like, what? And they're sore and they're tender. And here, around the middle, in the fatty cells here, they've got estrogen receptors in them. So it used to be easy for your body to get the estrogen from your ovaries. Now it's got to go elsewhere to get them, which is why we land up with all sorts of different issues. And they are so personal to you girls, so personal to you. And that's why, as far as a handbook is concerned, it's like giving a handbook for puberty. It's a very, very individual journey. And so is the menopause, which is why you sometimes need help from an expert specifically talking to you about you. So what I can do is I'm going to give you a lot of information and then you let me know what bit relates to you. So every single female on the planet goes through this. Why is there not more information out there? Does it frustrate you? Please give me a thumbs up if it frustrates you, the fact that you cannot find one piece of decent information that isn't contradicted by the next thing you see on Dr. Google. It's very frustrating, isn't it? Yes, I see the thumbs up happening. Thank you, girls. Thank you. Yes, it is, isn't it? It's really, really bloody annoying. And so in my masterclass, I'm going to be able to tackle a lot of it. And I'm also then going to be diving in and splitting it down into individual symptoms, which I think is what is needed out there. So if it's the hot flushes that are ending you, if it's the weight gain, from the research that you helped me with, ladies, on my page, for you, it seemed to be that the weight gain was the most frustrating and the most hard-hitting and the most upsetting because it hits your self-esteem, doesn't it? It's bad enough that we have to look in the mirror and look at the aging process, but then when you're looking at that, not just facially, where you've got all the magic creams threatening to do what they can and do what they can. But then you look here and things that used to work in the past no longer work. That's when I feel your frustration. So tomorrow is going to be all about the weight gain element. But today I want to explain some of the different systems and the symptoms. And your doctors, I love doctors. The doctors here have looked after me so well. They are amazing and I have so much respect for them. Your GP, you'll generally find in your surgery there'll be one person, hopefully a female, hopefully who has gone through it, who will be the resident expert for the menopause. So don't be scared to ask the reception desk. If your usual doctor in this time and age, after COVID, the likelihood of you going to see the doctor is quite slim. And having a conversation with a stranger about something so personal can be really tricky, can't it? But the GPs, they can help you, and if you can go to them with the information, so that as to what your symptoms have been. So in the first 10 minutes, generally the first thing we do is have a meltdown and go into a bubbling, hands up to say yes to me. Did you land up bubbling and snotting and just completely losing the plot the first time you spoke to a medical professional about the fact that you thought you might be going through the menopause? They get minimal training generally on the menopause, so they do the best that they can do by you. But when you first have that conversation, it can look extremely similar to anxiety or depression. So they may well offer you antidepressants or drugs to help along those lines, which unfortunately they aren't going to help this situation, and they aren't going to help the majority of the sleepless nights. Another high one on your factors in your research, the sleepless nights. The sleepless nights are a vicious circle for putting on weight, because you need, and for your liver and for all of these things, which I'll explain tomorrow. Don't let me get sidetracked. I'm looking at the comments, and yes. So you need to know what the symptoms are so that your doctor has a chance of not confusing it with depression, anxiety, you generally losing the plot, and doesn't give you an inappropriate, very addictive drug that isn't actually going to hit what you need. So please reach out to me if you need more information on that and you feel that you need a more personal consultation, because I can do that for ladies. I will do that for ladies, not a problem. I am not a medical professional. I never state to be that, but I can give homeopathic remedies that have helped hundreds of other people, and just give you a mental strategy, ladies. You are not alone. You are not alone. So please hear me when I say that. Lots of you on here, we're a tribe that has somehow been forgotten by the information system, and there's a lot of confusing stuff out there on the internet. But generally, with this, the main areas that we need to look at is your physical well-being, your mental well-being, and with that, we need to look at your liver, which we're a generation of guinea pigs. We are a generation of guinea pigs. Our mothers had not had access to the processed foods like we have. They didn't have the Just Eat app. They didn't have mass-produced meat with all those things injected into it. They didn't have their fruit and veg available from all over the world, covered in additives that we don't even know about. They didn't have everything wrapped in plastic. They didn't have plastic drinking bottles. We have been guinea pigs, and the pill, the contraceptive things that we have available to us, the alcohol we have available to us, all of these things we are guinea pigs for. And the reason why we are getting more menopausal symptoms than ladies elsewhere on the planet, For instance, there's a island out in the Greek islands where the ladies there suffer far less with menopausal symptoms because it is so lifestyle related. Lifestyle related. That is what it boils down to. So you've got to find out what in your lifestyle is doing you over. I don't want to swear, but you are probably screwing yourself over in some part of your lifestyle. Some of it you'll be aware of. If you've gone during lockdown, you started drinking too much, that's really gonna do you, but once and for all. Go to 1 Year No Beer Facebook page and do one of their challenges. During lockdown, I did a 28-day alcohol-free challenge. I've gone alcohol-free for more than 10 days since I was 17 years old. But during lockdown, I knew I needed to. It had got a bit out of hand. And just like so many other people, but also it was getting my menopausal symptoms through the roof. So that's one that I would definitely recommend. But otherwise, I'm going to do weight gain tomorrow. Then you tell me what other symptoms you would like me to cover, and I will cover them with you. So today I just wanted to explain to you briefly what's going on. Tomorrow I'll explain to you in more depth. So cleansing of the liver is a big thing that we need to do. Sorting out your sleep patterns. I'm going to cover sleep strategy because it's something that we need. If your sleep is wrong, that is when your liver cleanses itself. That when you're sleep deprived between the hours of 2 and 4 in particular, give me a thumbs up in the comments if you wake up between 2 and 4. If you wake up between 2 and 4, that is really going to sabotage your weight gain. Even if you are eating exactly the same way as you ate 5 years ago, and you're exercising the same way as you did 5 years ago, but your sleep is disturbed between the hours of 2 and 4, I'm sorry to say you will start to gain weight. And so we've got to tackle that. So one day this week, I will do sleep for you and things that you can do to help you sleep. And somebody just commented there about sugar. Sugar is just, Amanda, yeah, sugar will do you over. It's really, the sugar in alcohol, yes, in particular. And it's the bad decisions that you make after the alcohol, which is the other thing that really does you over. I am no angel. Any of you that follow me on Facebook, you know this to be true. I stand here in front of you as another potentially sweaty, and I have come across what really works for lots of ladies, and that is what I am here to share with you. And so yeah, the sugar, the alcohol, that is one that you can really nail. I'm not saying for forever, because if you can do the 28 days, you'll find that your system will be far more tolerant, because right now your system has never been less tolerant, because the lack of estrogen causes your skin to thin everywhere. So that's your tongue. That's why you sometimes get the stingy tongue on your inner ear. It can cause people to have an imbalance, vertigo for the first time, tingling on your fingers because the sensory receptors on the end of your fingers are thinning as well. IBS, because your internal skin is thinning. So you might have allergies for the first time ever. You'll be less tolerant to wheat than you ever have been. You will be less tolerant to pollen. You might have hay fever for the first time in your life because the inside of your nasal cavity is thinning. It's less tolerant. So, did you hear my stomach rumbling then? Did that make it all the way across the internet? Maybe it did. Yes. And yeah, so right through to the IBS. And you're just your tolerance, mood tolerance, that is going to be the same as well. So if you are perimenopausal, your estrogen is spiking and dipping and spiking and dipping and spiking and dipping as your pituitary gland is sorting out, trying to find a balance in your body. It might find a receptor in your body that it can get instant gratification from and the estrogen levels from. Your estrogen goes up. A doctor gives you a blood test and they say, no, your estrogen levels are still in the zone. You're still high. You're fine. They've done it 48 hours later. They're down there somewhere. So you've really got to learn how to know your body, ladies, your body. Now, I do have a document which I will upload and put a link in the comments for you, which has got the majority of symptoms, the major symptoms, and use that to keep a track of the symptoms that you have and how often you have them. And then you take that to the doctors and you've got a better chance of them being able to diagnose where you are in the menopausal journey. So for today, that is me signing out, ladies. Mwah! I hope this has been of use to you. Please let me know. Yes, give me a yes if it has been useful. Let me know what other areas you would like me to delve into in a little bit more detail. And as I say, I think probably it's going to be tomorrow. I'm going to be recording that 2-hour masterclass for you where I can really delve in. I know we all take things in different ways. There's some scientists amongst you out there that you don't just want to see a chart like this. You want to know the numbers. You want to know the exact place where the pituitary gland is. You want to know exactly where your adrenals are and why you keep getting these panic attacks and heightened anxiety. That's where I'll dive into it more. So I'm so glad. Oh, Kerry, I'm glad you've enjoyed it. Wendy, I'm glad you found it interesting. Kate, love you. And I'm, so glad that to be able to help in any way possible about the bird above you heard. I love, oh, the bird, that bird. that came from the Calvin Klein Museum down in Glasgow. And that is my happy bird. If I'm feeling a bit bonkers, a bit crap, I look up at my happy bird. You should all have a happy bird somewhere in your life. Claire, I'm glad that was useful. Amanda, I'm glad you enjoyed that. Maz, lovely to see you. Sandra, and mwah to you, Lainey. And I will see you 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. I will be here with my fancy pants whiteboard. Or maybe not, to be fair. Let's see how the day goes. I'm not setting myself up for failure. And I shall see you all 10 o'clock tomorrow. Okay, bye girls. Let me know if you're watching on catch up, by the way. Thank you.